Can you tell me a story?
Yes, we want the story.
Sure. Once upon a time,
A long time ago?
yes, a long time ago, there was a church. And this church had a choir. Now, in this church, there was a handsome young man. One day, the handsome young man,
What was his name?
his name was Glenn. Glenn looked at the choir and said to himself, there are lots of cute girls singing in that choir. Maybe I'll join the choir too. And so he did. While Glenn was singing, he would sometimes look over at one of the pretty girls.
What was the pretty girl's name?
Her name was Anne. One day, Glenn gathered his courage and decided to ask Anne for a date. But she said, "I'm sorry, I already have plans for that day."
Oh, was Glenn sad?
Yes, Glenn was very sad. He thought that Anne didn't like him and decided not to ask her again. Meanwhile, Anne kept thinking about Glenn. She really did want to go on a date with him. But what if he never asked her? One day in choir, Anne turned to Glenn and said, "I actually didn't go on a date that night after all." So Glenn got very brave and asked her out again. This time, Anne said yes.
Yay!
Yay!
They went on a date, and then they went on lots more dates. And one day, Glenn asked Anne to marry him. She said yes, so they got married.
That's so exciting. What happened next?
Glenn and Anne moved to Florida, and Glenn was in the Coast Guard.
Oh, did he ride on ships in the ocean?
Yes, sometimes he went to Key West.
You mean he lived on a key?
No, this key was an island. Anne stayed in Miami and missed him while he was away. They were happy whenever they could be back together. Finally, they moved back to Ohio, and Glenn got a job with Ohio Bell.
He worked on a bell?
No, Ohio Bell was a phone company,
Oh.
and people started calling him Dave.
That's kind of confusing.
While they were in Ohio, something exciting happened.
They found a dinosaur?
No,
There's a volcano in the yard?
no. They found out that they were going to have a baby. Little David Curtis was born.
Oh, he's cute.
And they all lived in a little house in Eastlake. But then they found out they were going to have another baby. They needed a bigger house. So they built a house on Arlington Drive. And while they were building the house, they had a baby girl.
Was that Pam?
Yes, that was Pamela Sue.
She's cute too.
So the family all moved into their new house on Arlington Drive. They had lots of fun together. They liked to do things like play tennis and ski and water ski. They liked to make friends and do things to help people. They had lots of adventures. Then David and Pam got older, and they both got married too. And then they had children.
Wow. So now the handsome young man and pretty girl were a grandma and grandpa?
Yes, they still did lots of fun things like riding motorcycles and being on ski patrol and going scuba diving.
You mean they didn't really act like a grandma and grandpa?
Well, maybe they were just a very special grandma and grandpa. They liked to play tennis and ski with their grandchildren.
And sometimes go to McDonald's?
Yes, McDonald's too.
And did they still help people?
Yes, because that is something they liked to do. Lots of years passed by. Then the grandchildren started having children.
Wow. So now the handsome young man and pretty girl were great-grandparents?
Yes.
It looks like they have a really nice family.
Yes, it is a really great family. Do you know why?
It is because they love each other.
Yes. Dave and Ann's family was blessed with so much love.
Wow,
Wait, that
it
says
must
Dave,
be amazing
not
to be
Glenn.
in a family like that.
Yes, it really is amazing. The people in the family are very, very thankful. They are thankful to God for the love He gave them and for giving them such a wonderful family. And they are thankful to the handsome young man and the pretty girl.
You mean great-grandma and great-grandpa?
Yes, for raising such a wonderful family.
That sounds like something to celebrate.
Well, now that you mention it, the family is getting ready to have a party.
Oh, I like parties. What are they celebrating?
Well, the handsome young man and the pretty girl
You mean great-grandma and great-grandpa.
have been married for 65 years.
Wow, 65 years.
That is a pretty special, right?
It is really special.
I think we should have a really big party that lasts a whole week.
Maybe we could have it in a great big house.
Yeah, a big house with enough room for everybody.
Yeah, and the house could be on a lake.
Was one på två?
And the lake should have a boat.
And there should be lots of good food.
Oh, you're making me hungry.
Sounds like a great party.
And the best thing would be that they all love each other so much, right?
Right, that is the best thing.
Wait, how does the story end?
I know. They all lived happily ever after.
Oh, he's cute.